Hey guys, it's Adam, aka Swimming Bird, and we're back again for another Minecraft 1.3 snapshot. This is 12W22A for Thursday, May 31st. This is the last one of May, and it's got almost as many features as last week, so let's get right into it. Now the first thing right behind me is this solid emerald block. Now you can craft this just like you would any of the other blocks that are made from ore or gems. Just kind of do 9, and there you go. You can lay them in a little pattern here, and you get almost this cool little center design from the corners that that kind of looks like an enchanting table's corner. So that's pretty cool. But let's move on to one of the bigger features. Now right here, what the heck is this thing? It looks like a leopard's tail sticking out of a wall socket. This is a tripwire and the tripwire hooks on the end. Now if you want to craft a tripwire hook, you just take iron, a stick, and a plank, and you get 2 from that. Now the tripwire hooks can be laid up to 19 blocks across from them, and to set them up you need to lay string on the ground, which is a new thing. It's really hard to see because, I mean, it's meant to be a tripwire, but you can also use this for some decorative purposes. Especially on stone it looks pretty hard to see, but if you lay it other spots it might look cooler for designs. But its actual purpose is just to set up this tripwire. You can have these elevated, as I can show you up here. I built these giant power lines that I'll give you a better look at later. But you set these across, and then when somebody walks over it, it triggers, bam, and powers whatever you have set up at the end. I have this set so that if I just stand here, this will have this little villager stuck going back and forth eternally, because as you can see in his minecart, he is triggering those other wires as he goes through them. So you can put them above minecarts, but unless a player's in there, it won't trigger it. But you could probably use that as a system to set up so that if someone isn't in a minecart, then it would send the minecart back to you, which is pretty cool. But yeah, these can be used as they're powered by redstone, or they'll power redstone. You can use them for traps and stuff, like setting TNT and all those sorts of cool things, shooting off dispensers. But these are mainly meant by Dinnerbone, one of the developers at Mojang, to be used for adventure maps, but I could see them having a lot of uses, even aesthetic ones like I set up here. I'll fly up here and show you. I just kind of did some wiring here, and these are all connected to lights. Just looking at the power lines outside my window, did a few different designs, just wanted to kind of make it look kind of cool. I'm sure people will probably use it for this sort of thing, but they're all connected together, floating above in the air. So some of the new trading features, as you'll see now, there's 2 spots at the top here, but also 2 at the bottom. Villagers now can offer to have you trade 2 items for a certain item. Like an example is 10 gravel plus 1 emerald to get 3 flint. But at the bottom you can also add multiple items to offer for stuff. Let's get this diamond chest piece just to see if he'll level up. But when you level them, they also have more levels. Before, I think they only gave you about 3 or so different options, but now it's gone up to 5 and more. And there's some cool new stuff. I got these bottles of enchanting from the villagers over here, but I'll go check these guys out. I've leveled some of these up a bit, so you can see some of the ways that they can trade. Now he's got bottle of enchanting all the way up to giving him a diamond chest piece and some emerald to get enchanted diamond chest piece. Now this is, I think, exclusive to the priests and maybe the blacksmiths to enchant your equipment, but it's pretty cool. Just a lot of new trades here, getting your picks and swords and stuff all enchanted. I think they took out some of the ways that you could kind of easily get emeralds, like trading zombie flesh in mass quantities to them, because that was just a little too easy for people to just cheat their way to having a ton of emeralds. But yeah, as you can see, there's a ton of new trading options opened up, and they've kind of improved that in general. So moving on, the creative mode has gotten a few adjustments here. Now if you look at the inventory, there's a destroy item spot, and if you just shift click, like on this new diamond armor I just got, it'll just destroy it for you, so you don't have to, you can easily clear out your inventory. You can also see there's the armor and the crafting spots here, but they added to the potion tab every single potion and splash potion, normal potion and splash that you can make in the game to easily be able to grab. Look at all these guys glistening. If you push T from any slot or any window, it'll go straight to the search tab, so you can type in stone or whatever you want to search for. And they changed that from just typing when you straight get in there, I think just to avoid confusion of how to exit and all that stuff. A couple of new blocks over here that they added to creative are the stone brick and cobblestone versions of the silverfish block. So if I break these, you can see the silverfish pop out. But they also went in and added some different shades to brick and brick stairs, and also chests. They're just shaded a bit differently than they used to be before now. So emerald ore, this was a big point of contention. Jeb took it out of the game because too many people were whining that it was kind of rare. But the emerald ore actually was never meant to be your main source of emerald. You're supposed to trade with the villagers to get your emerald. And the emerald ore was supposed to be a nice surprise when you're mining in extreme hills. So Jeb ended up putting it back in, and he made it, he increased the levels that it can spawn at, but I believe it's still only in extreme hills. And they'll only be clusters of one, so they're very rare, but they are in the game. I really like, if you look at all the ore over here, I really like how the emerald looks in comparison to the rest. It's pretty cool. It just kind of looks very unique compared to the others. I think Lapis is the only other one that has a different kind of layout, but the little shadows and stuff in the emerald make it stand out a lot. Plus, green's my favorite color. So, alright. But that's back in. But now here's another thing that was added recently. Game mode, survival, creative, and now adventure. So adventure mode plops you in like survival, but now I can't destroy any blocks or place any blocks anywhere. I can't do any of that. I can't set stuff on fire or use buckets. I can breed animals, but that's about it in terms of interacting with a lot of the world. It's mainly meant to be for adventure maps, as the name kind of lets you know there. But it could also be used on servers to help people not have their areas griefed. So I think that's kind of a cool addition. This is a very preliminary version of it, though. They're going to change it a lot and add a lot. One thing I can show you here, if we get under these trees and I toggle, I'm going to actually put my game mode back on here so I don't get killed on accident or something. But we're going to do toggle downfall and set the rain to go. Now if you look, the leaves will now drip with water when rain hits them directly above. Just a cool little aesthetic effect. And then if we go over here, you can see I've got cauldrons all over the place. And that's because cauldrons will now collect rainwater, kind of 28 days later style. If you set a bunch of them out, eventually they'll collect chickens too if you're not careful. But they will collect water over time, and then you can get some water stored up. Sorry, there's a guy with a weed blower going by my window. Okay, well, that zombie wants to get to these, but they've got a guard, and he can't get over that fence, because he's a zombie. He doesn't know how to hop fences. But yeah, the rainwater, that could be useful for adventure maps. If there's no water source around you, then you could, set those up. It's just kind of a cool little aesthetic thing. I don't think it's meant to be that functional. Now, nether portals. Check out this little nether portal I built over here. I just did a weird little design with the emerald. But nether portals are set, so very rarely pigmen will actually escape from them and spawn in the overworld, which is pretty cool. And they can come out of here, but I've yet to see that happen. If you notice too, the bow effect, if in multiplayer and in single player, is set so that when you shoot it at full power, the little stream will come out of it again. It used to do that. But other things that they added here, they've improved enchanting. This is a big thing, guys. So enchanting used to need 50 levels to get the max stuff, but now they have set it down so you only need 30. And what's more is that all the enchanting is scaled now to 30, so you'll still get the really good ones, but it won't take as long. But also, every time you put this item in here, it will put on the third slot, the bottom slot here, it'll put the max level that you can enchant with. So it's very easy to get your max one. You have to sit there and put it in and out. And also, they improved the likelihood that you'll get multiple enchantments. As you can see here, this is a really good pick. It's pretty much the max I think I could get for unbreaking. Efficiency might go up to 5, I'm not sure, and then fortune, so that's a really good pick. I just enchanted a bunch. You can just see kind of a lot of the stuff that I got. You can still get some just normal ones, but these two are actually through trades. with the villagers, and then Silk Touch, it's a lot easier to get experience now. You only need 15 bookcases to get the max enchanting level, and on top of that, they added other ways to get experience. Now, if I'm gonna head out of creative just for 1 second here, I can show you that if you mine ore, you now get experience from mining that will drop. You could hear that jingle. Let me try to step away so you can see it fall. But any ore that drops a different type of, drop, like lapis, redstone, diamond, or coal, will also drop experience now, so you can get experience while mining. I've heard reports that people have mined clusters of coal and gotten like dozens of levels just from a few clusters, so I think they're probably going to nerf that. Now, for gold and iron, they do not drop experience, but if we go over here, we can set this up. Now, we've got some lava buckets here that I'm going to grab, and if you put the gold and the iron into your, just the normal way you're going to smelt it, then I'll show you what happens. Now, as we wait for that, I can let you know that buckets, when you put lava in them and let them, sit in there, they don't eat the bucket anymore. You can take your bucket back. So that's a nice improvement. It was always a little weird that the lava burned it up. But anyways, now listen for this. Let me turn the rain off here. I'm going to turn my game mode back too. But it would seem a little weird that you couldn't get your experience from iron and gold, but that's just because when you take it out of here, once the rain stops, I'll do this. There we go. Now listen. Ooh, there, all the experience popped out when I took that iron out. So, when you smelt your gold and your iron, that's when you get your experience. It pops out. And I believe it also works for food and stuff too. We can try some meat here real quick and just see how that goes. But yeah, it is kind of a cool little thing that just makes experience easier to get. Oh, we don't want to do that. We don't want to throw that there. It just makes experience a little easier to get for people, especially if you're not good at fighting monsters. Like, you can mine, you can smelt, you can destroy monster spawners now to give you a bunch of experience. I'm not sure how much it drops exactly because I'd have to find a monster spawner, but I'm hoping it gives you a good amount of levels that way. It's all just ways to encourage people not to sit and just grind experience by using monster spawners. They want people to go out, and actually fight the monsters and get the experience from them. So let's see what happens when I take the food out here. Yep, I get a little bit of experience. It didn't sound like as much as the iron and gold, but that's probably because I had more in there. So yeah, that's more ways to get experience. Now, they haven't scaled the Ender Dragon down with this, so if you kill the Ender Dragon currently, you get about 1,000 plus levels. There was a screenshot of someone on Reddit that had 1,153 levels, I think, from beating the Ender Dragon, which is more than you'd probably ever want or need. But they're going to scale that experience down because right now they actually changed it to levels being linear. Now, if you knew in the past, say, you went from 0 to 1, you only need a little experience. But if you went from 49 to 50, say, then you would need a shit ton of experience to get up that last level. You would need a bunch. So now they made it linear where every level needs the same amount of experience, meaning to go from 0 to 1, you need the same amount as to go from 29 to 30. So it's a lot quicker to gain experience. So all these ways are just making the experience system a little simpler and easier to do without needing to sit at mob grinders. So what else can we see? I'm going to set this up to show you. In single player, Endermen are known for being a little bit creepier because they do a certain thing that they haven't done in multiplayer yet, but now they've fixed that to where Enderman will now do that in multiplayer. So let's hit him and see what he does. See, now he will shake and open his jaw and be super creepy, like he's got the jitters, he had too much coffee, and then he comes after you. He's not doing the scream sound effect that they had originally put in the game, which I believe is in the coding somewhere, but here he comes. He's got his block, but he's got his mouth agape. I really like this. It just kind of makes him look a bit more ferocious with his creepy face. There's a good look for you. Oh, actually hit him with an arrow, which I thought would be impossible. But they usually teleport out of the way. I think I was just so close that it still hit him. So pretty cool, huh? Let's see if I can take him down. Oh, see, he got away that time, even though it was point blank. Alright, so one more thing that we can show you, half slabs. Now they used to be kind of tough to place. You would need to kill the Enderman that's next to you first, and then you could try to place them to do the top slabs. If you tried to place them when there was no block above it, it was very tough. I'm really gonna have to kill this guy. Sorry about this, guys. Alright, I got my enchanted sword. Where'd you go? He's gone. Okay, so half slabs. If you wanted to place them before, you kind of needed to have a block above it if you wanted to place them as an upper slab. So like, see here, I'll put these blocks, and this is normally how you'd have to do it. You need to make like an overhang, and then you could kind of place the half slab on the bottom, and it would be an upper slab. But no more, you can easily place it towards, if you put it at the bottom part, then it'll be a bottom slab, but if you put it towards the top part of the side of a block, there you go. It's a half slab. Much easier for building those and decorating. So, we're almost done here. The last big thing is what I'm going to show you. Alright, so the last thing I'm going to show you guys is over here. If you've seen these emerald blocks in the distance, this is right where I spawned in the seed, and this land was all cleared out, so I'll give you the seed at the end here. But over here is one last thing that they added that's a bit special. I'll just head on our way. Now, last time they added desert pyramids, so can you guess what they might have added this time? Sorry, I apologize one more time for the view distance loading and lag, but I am getting a better computer soon. Now here we go. This is a jungle temple, I believe they're called for now. These will spawn randomly in the jungle, and this one is right near spawn, so it's a pretty good seed to use. Now if you head down here, it's made of cobble and the mossy cobblestone, which the mossy cobble actually looks a bit dimmer. I'm not sure if they changed that at all, but it looks a little more faded out. Now there's a few windows and stuff, but if you head around the sides, you'll eventually find the entrance. Now this is the back. Here we go. Let's head inside. The snapshots definitely more laggy than they usually are too for some reason, but this is the first level. If you head around here, you can just kind of see the window into the back. Now this will become more important later, but this is the second level. Pretty simple stuff. It's not any more complicated than the pyramids really. But down in the basement is where the special stuff is. So it's a little dark down here. Head through the vines. Now on your left over here, if you're facing this way, are these little switches. And on your right is this hallway. So let's deal with the switches first. Now this middle one doesn't really do anything, but this is a bit of a puzzle. If you want to solve it on your own, then you can kind of skip ahead a bit. But this is how you do it, I believe. You have to kind of figure out the way these switches go. I can show you up here though, if you look. This little spot is where you're going to be looking, because you want to hit the switches in the correct pattern to move the pistons that you can hear as they go over. Let's see if I can do this right here. There we go. Now you're controlling two pistons here. I'll show you as I go down. One of them is pushing the other piston over, and the other is pulling the block from down here. So you just kind of have to pull the block down and pull it, over so that you can get down. And there's a chest in here, and it's got some gold and some bones. Now the chest in here can have bones, rotten flesh, gold, iron, diamonds, and emerald. So some cool loot, basically the same as the pyramids. This first switch, I'll tell you, controls the one that's vertical, and this other one does the horizontal. So if you can't figure it out, just keep messing with those two, and the middle one doesn't really do anything. But it's a cool little compact puzzle that they made. But this side is a little more thrilling. If you see here, you can probably spot that dispenser at the end, and if you're paying even closer attention, you can see this tripwire on the ground. Now, if we're not careful, an arrow will get shot out from that dispenser straight at us. So here's the way to get the tripwires down. If I didn't mention before, if you try to break them normally, they will still trigger, but if you hit them with shears, then you'll hear the kind of taunt bow release sound, and the tripwire will be released, so you can walk through and not trigger it. Now here's the little dispenser that we saw before. It's just got a bunch of arrows. Now if you look over here, you're like, oh, there's a chest, and you might get distracted thinking that you're safe, but no, there's another tripwire just before the chest with another dispenser filled with arrows. So I can show you what happens if we just break this with any normal, like a sword. Let's cut it. And there it goes. It still shoots an arrow off, so you gotta be careful. But at the end, here's another chest, and this one's got gold and iron, but it has that same variety: bones, flesh, iron, gold, diamonds, and emeralds that could possibly spawn in there. So this is just a cool little, almost Indiana Jones-esque temple here that you go through and look out for traps, and it shows you a bit of how you can set up these redstone or the tripwire to make traps. So it's pretty cool. Anyways, that's it for this week, basically. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'm still moving, so I'm a little slow on getting on to comments and getting back to you guys, but I appreciate all the likes and everything. If you could leave a like, that definitely helps me out. And I will be back next week, most likely, to do the next snapshot if they're not going to release it anytime soon. I really hope they're still going to add some more stuff because they have been super productive, so I want to see what else they can throw in here. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. Thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you later. Goodbye. One more thing, the seed, if you're interested, I'm holding it in my hands right here. It is the tripwire. Just the word tripwire, one word. And if you want the coordinates here, there's the coordinates for the jungle temple. So go check it out yourself, guys. Have fun. I'll see you next week.